Are you excited to do this talk show about education after the post-war years? Yeah, but I'm kind of nervous. I really want people to know all the awesome changes. Well, what are you going to talk to them about? There's so much to say. First, people should know that after the war was over, the GIJO bill was put into place to provide benefits to the 7.8 million war veterans. I love the GIJO bill. It helped popularize higher education after World War II and paved the way for the post-war baby boom. Next, maybe we should tell them about the critics and decline of progressive education. Okay. There were many critics of progressive education who called for a return to the classical liberal arts curriculum. Thoughts right on the idea life adjustment education didn't help. What is life adjustment education? Basically, life adjustment education focuses on the youth who do not attend college. It stressed functional objectives and was more of a vocation program while objecting traditional academic studies. A popular counter-idea to the life adjustment education system was the Montessori movement, founded by the Italian Maria Montessori. Yes, the Montessori movement emphasized sensory training and the use of didactic materials. Interest and motivation were at the heart of the Montessori movement. If you had to pick one event that had a significant impact on education, what would it be and why? The launch of the Sputnik, for sure. The launch of the Sputnik confirmed in many people's minds that America was losing the technological race during the Cold War. So as a reaction, the government passed the National Defense Education Act. The NDA revised the curriculum according to the latest theories and methods, emphasizing on math, science, and modern foreign languages. The NDA also led to the creation of the spiral curriculum. Oh, what's the spiral curriculum? The spiral curriculum is a different way in which subject matter is presented over a number of grades with increasing complexity and abstraction as the grades increase. Also, I think it's important to mention the way education played a role in the war against poverty. Yes. A number of acts were put into place because the government believed that if the poor were provided with better educational skills, then they could do better in society. Thoughts right. I think that it's so interesting that between 1963 and 1969 the government passed more than 24 major pieces of legislation regarding education. What other ways did education play an important role in the post-war era? Schools became a stage for much of the drama of the civil rights movement. For example, take Brown versus Board of Education, which marked the beginning of the Civil Rights Revolution. The Brown decision, which said that segregation in public schools was unconstitutional, was met with massive amounts of resistance. Eventually, however, the decision was later applied to advancing the rights of women, racial and ethnic groups, the aged and the disabled as well. The Civil Rights Act was another monumental piece of legislation introduced in 1964. The act included Title VI, which stated that discrimination against students based on race, color, or national origin in all institutions funded by the federal government was prohibited. Also, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act forbids discrimination in employment based on race, religion, national origin, or gender. It's probably important for everyone watching to know the difference between de jure and de facto segregation. De jure segregation is segregation that is imposed by the law, and de facto segregation is segregation that occurs in society although it's technically not a law. Throughout the decade, other groups such as Hispanics, Native Americans, women, and handicapped children began to receive equal treatment under the law as precedents were set in the civil rights movement. With a series of urban riots, both passive and violent, student rights movements played a role in pushing back the civil rights movement. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, presidential administrations played a major role in how education was affected. Teachers began to become more aware of the low pay and demands rose for fair wages. Test scores and public confidence in schools also fell in the 1970s. Since then, concerns for student achievement and a demand for greater accountability have been on a constant rise. I'm so glad that we were able to come on this amazing show today and share with everyone the important changes in education in the post-war years. I hope it was helpful, and I hope we can do it again soon.